much better. Okay, hello, good evening to everyone. Nandito nga na ngayon. We are now going to start our live stream because this is going to be quite a long discussion, I'm sure, because I am anticipating that a lot of you will have a lot of questions that I hope I can answer. I do hope that you will stick with me throughout the entire conversation this evening because this is a very delicate topic to be had. Now, before we begin, I would just like to say thank you sa mga lahat ng mga maagang dumating ngayon. Sa mga katulad ni na Ping, ni na Jester PL, ng Family Reyes, shout out sa inyong lahat. Salamat sa early attendance nyo this evening. Now, Jester PL is the first one who came in here. Sabi niya, good evening Sir Jason, sumabay pa sa smog ang kalat ng MUPH ngayon. Jester PL, I don't think that it's only MUPH yung may problem with regards to this. I think there are entities na pwedeng sangkot na pwedeng maaaring nasa loob ng organization at maaaring nasa labas din ng organization. So it's not, I don't think that this is just an issue that is within particularly the MUPH na brand. Or the MUPH na organization. Ping says, magandang gabi Sir Jason at sa lahat ng mga supporters. Magandang gabi Ping. Thank you for being early as always. By the way, nag-message earlier si Mark Gonzalez. Sabi niya, pa-shoutout naman daw sa kanya in our live stream ngayon. So I'm giving him a shout out. Magandang gabi Mark Gonzalez. I hope na you're joining us later in this live stream. June says, good evening Sir Jason, magandang gabi din. Vili Gutierrez Mendoza says, amazing evening po. Family Reyes, sabi niya, hi, good evening Lods. Okay, Laura Last, sabi niya, hello Jason, coming out from work, listening on my way home. Bakit kayo may pasok? Hindi ba nagsabi na walang pasok ang government? I'm not sure kung you're part of the government or what, but ang alam ko wala nang pasok in most private na mga companies. Okay? Sandali lang. Nasaan na ba tayo? Travel Junkie is here. Ayan, present po. Not totally invested naman, kaya lang umaasa ako kahit semis, pero mukhang back-to-back tayo, sir. Huge possibility kaya. Okay, for everyone who just joined in, I just put in a poll, just like what we did in the past several na mga live stream. In this poll, I'm particularly asking everyone to give us your thoughts. If you feel that this Miss Universe coin controversy will affect Michelle's chances at Miss Universe in El Salvador this November. Okay? There are three options there. Currently, leading in the poll is 56% saying that it will definitely affect her chances. 6% says no, it won't. Optimistic na it's not going to be it's not going to affect Michelle's chances of winning Miss Universe, while 39% few are hoping that it won't. Okay, so this poll is going to be open for the next several minutes until the end of the live stream, para to give everyone a chance to participate. Okay. Ping says, guys, paki-like na ang video na ito. Thank you. I'm on that way to plugging to everyone to please do like and subscribe in our channel. But for now, kahit yung simpleng like, nakakatulong siya sa ating paglago ng community, and especially because this is a very interesting na topic. If you want, people to have, opinions, to share their opinions on this topic, by liking this live stream, mas maraming makakakita. Okay? Mark Gonzalez is here. Sabi niya, good evening, Sir Jason and ka-scripters. Thanks, Sir Jason, for the chat we had earlier today when the news broke out. I'll bring up my thoughts that I initially mentioned earlier. Okay? Thanks for the shout out. Lore Last says, from the USA, Sir Jason. Okay, and heart emojis. Darwin Cruz is here. With the recent MU post regarding Miss Universe Coin, I hope that it won't affect Michelle's placement. She is in the event, but she's not directly involved. Kasi meron siyang personal agenda about her advocacy. That's the thing. There are 2 events that she was present in, and that's something that might be detrimental to the overall optics of this entire scenario. Okay. Lemon235 is here, and sabi niya, I don't think it will affect her chances. First of all, she wasn't necessarily directly involved in the issue because she was just there to promote her advocacy. Her chances will only be affected if she was directly involved in the matter. Okay, we have so many opinions. Marami tayong kuro-kuro dito sa topic na to, but I do hope that for everyone who is here now, if you can, give a quick peek at the chat box, at the live stream chat box. There is a poll there. Please join the poll. Let your opinions be heard in that poll so that at the end of this live stream, we will wrap up with the results. If whether or not you think that the Miss Universe coin controversy will affect Michelle's chances at Miss Universe. Now, let's do a recap first. Saan ba nanggaling itong issue na to? Where did it come from? How come that this is the first time that we are hearing about it? Now, for most pageant fans, the first time that we actually, heard about this was earlier this morning, which is pretty much late in the evening in New York, which also means that the event was about 3 days after na nalaman ng Miss Universe na may nangyayaring Miss Universe coin. Okay? So, the series of events is quite unclear as of this moment, but I try to list down the things that had happened. Okay, but before that, let's just do a recap first. So this morning, Miss Universe announced that it is not affiliated with the launched Miss Universe coin at the Philippine Blockchain Week. Doon sa in that event, the Miss Universe coin was launched at around, I believe, September 19 of the event, because the event, or the Philippine Blockchain Week, or PBW, was from the dates, I believe, of September 19 to 21. So those are 4 days na mga activities. So medyo mahaba-haba siya. And in the communications, or in the memo that the Miss Universe published in their official na Instagram stories, they mentioned that this is a form of copyright infringement, and that they are going to look at possible lawsuits, and they are also warning, pageant fans to be cautious when dealing with this kind of MU coin, because they don't want the pageant community to be victimized by this. As we all know, as of this moment, cryptocurrency or any online currency can be a little bit tricky, because in my experience, when I was handling a social media account back when I was a social media manager for US na mga brands, cryptocurrency are a little bit on the volatile side. So they are not as stable as traditional, currencies here and abroad. In this case, there is a lot of possibility, a huge possibility, that if you're not being, you're not being conscientious, you're not being well informed, and you're not well read about how to trade, how how to handle cryptocurrencies, you can actually lose value on the amount that you buy. Okay? Now, when the Miss Universe organization posted the announcement or the press release on their Instagram stories, the Miss Universe Philippines organization reposted the image or the screenshot or the social media asset in their accounts. However, there was no caption, there was no additional information posted when they initially posted on that. I haven't returned yet on the Miss Universe Philippines official Instagram account if they made some edits or they added some additional information, clarification on that. However, we are going to be on the lookout for that because this is potentially a litigious na situation. Lawsuits are pretty much guaranteed to happen if in case na there are a lot of people involved in this, in this situation. Additional, there was no additional information that was posted in the MUPH repost of the said Miss Universe press release, but there was a screenshot that was sent to me with the social media post of the Miss Universe Philippines communications director, saying that MU and MUPH are both cleared from involvement. However, we have to note that on the press release, the Miss Universe organization did not specifically or explicitly say that MUPH is absolved on the clarification, is absolved on possible involvement. It only says that there is no involvement of the MU coin in the voting system. So hindi siya pwedeng gamitin on the voting system because it's not officially being used there. So essentially, parang it does not necessarily absolve or clear out the involvement of any particular na individual or organizations in the situation. Okay? Now, and the reason why this is very important because wordings in press releases like this are very carefully thought out so that there is no other interpretation. There's no additional or lesser interpretation of what is being said can be misunderstood. Okay, so as much as possible, they are very direct and to the point whenever you are telling or saying your saying your piece on the press release, because you don't want people to misinterpret because there's lack of information or there is too much information that it gets to be spin around. This is also the reason why in most cases when Miss Universe organization publishes any press release related to any issue, scandal, or controversy, they minimize it to less than 5 paragraphs so that less talk, less mistake. Now, after the Miss Universe organization posted the press release, hours later, Michelle and her organization that she's partnering with in terms of the Autism Haven that she's trying to put up, they release a press statement that they have no involvement. Now, just to be sure, again, based on the wording and on the verbiage used, there's no involvement. But that does not mean that they have no prior knowledge of the MU coin, because here is where Michelle's public appearances puts her at a very precarious situation, because now when the Philippine Blockchain Week had their press conference at the Marriott Hotel last September 7, Michelle Dee sat down with Donald Patrick Lim, who was the one who introduced the Miss Universe coin during the said press conference. That was the time where Michelle's presence made her look like she was in on it. Again, this is optics. The terrible optics here was that she was sitting beside the the entrepreneur who introduced the Miss Universe coin during that same press release as a possibility that they can use it for helping out Michelle for voting in Miss Universe later on. So the video that I posted on my Instagram stories is very explicit in that. That was taken from a Twitter account. It was reposted from BitPinoy, another social media account that is primarily concerned on posting on content on cryptocurrency and blockchain and etc. On the Philippine setting. So that makes it very a little bit incriminating on Michelle's side because later on during the Philippine Blockchain Week, she did deliver her message with regards to her advocacy. She was there during the opening, I believe, at Marriott Grand Ballroom at the Newport World Hotels on September 19. And Michelle was present at that day, and she was seen in photographs with Senator Robin Padilla. Now, the problem here is that the Philippine Blockchain Week is not a fly-by-night event, because the Philippine Blockchain Week is partly partnered with with certain Philippine government agencies. This is where it makes it a bit how to say this? It makes it a bit dangerous because the Philippine Blockchain Week is partnered with the Department of Information and Communications Technology, DICT, the Department of Tourism, and the Department of Trade and Industry. So DTI, DOT, DICT. This is where you know that the Philippine Blockchain Week is a legit event. Because if the government is already involved in the blockchain, in the formation of this event, then you know that it will have huge sponsors. And some of the sponsors of this event includes the Philippine Airlines, PLDT, Smart Communications, and Paymaya. So imagine the event. This is not a fly-by-night event. Hindi to putyo-putyong event. This is a big event. And when I was researching on Patrick Lim, Donald Patrick Lim, he's not a just na entity. If I'm not mistaken, he is a educator. He is a e-commerce na specialist. And his background is more on the business at the business and entrepreneurship at the e-commerce, online commerce na arena. So it makes him a person not just of interest, but rather a person that could possibly have legit businesses that is tied up with the event. So which means that we have probably someone who fed into his organization that you can create, this blockchain in relation with the Miss Universe organization. The problem is we don't know who that person is and how deep is their involvement in this scenario, in this situation. Because as I was looking at the people involved, the more that I was researching on Donald Patrick Lim, he's actually, I believe, he teaches in San Beda. He is actually an educator, and if I'm not mistaken, he also teaches at the Asian Institute of Management. So you know that this person is not a, what do you call this? Is not a person that just popped in and then had any credentials to put under his name. In fact, I think he is the owner of the Dito. I forgot the name. Let me double check. I'm gonna look at his LinkedIn account kung meron. Give me a second. Mabilis lang to. Kasi he is the Chief Operating Officer of Dito CME, the Chief Innovation Officer of the Udenna Corporation. He is a graduate of the Managed Program of the Ateneo de Manila University with an MBA from Murdoch University in the and he also has a doctor's in business administration from the University of Phoenix. He also took up a second master's degree in public management from the Ateneo School of Government. And he also has a diploma in interior decorating, a diploma in executive management, a diploma in HR, in hotel and restaurant management. And he finished Pelmanism from the Pelman Institute in Sydney, Australia. So ibig sabihin nito, this is not a person that you would not who has a shady background. The mere fact that his event when he launched the Philippine Blockchain Week, meron na siyang roots in the business world, and on telecommunications and as such. And the mere fact that as I'm reading through his bio, he was also an awardee of the Outstanding Young Men Award for Community Building in Digital Media. So, ibig sabihin, this is not the kind of person that would do, sketchy things in the name of the business. Probably, my read here is that somebody approached him on the possibility of creating a blockchain na cryptocurrency where it can be used for multiple uses. And it just so happened na Miss Universe related yung tawag nito, yung naging involvement. And this is where it becomes really very interesting. Now, dali lang. Medyo kailangan ko ng extra na gas. Okay, so let's get back to it. Now, if you have an entity, a business entity who is legit, and you have a business event that is also legit, sponsored by the government, government agencies, the ICT, DOT, and DTI, then you know that what was launched was probably a legit product. Now, the question is, it is bad on the optics on Michelle's side because she was there on two occasions. One where she is seen seated with Donald Patrick Lim. And the second one is when she attended the opening ceremonies and delivered a talk on NFTs. Now, the NFT conversation, that is another conversation altogether that does not help in this discussion. But just to give you, a short intro to it, the NFTs are essentially mga artworks that would help sana Michelle to set up her Autism Haven. These are digital artworks that she can auction off perhaps or sell, and this can be done through auction or bidding, and this could have helped her with her advocacy. The problem here is that because of her presence in two occasions that is involved with this scenario that we are currently having, it puts her in a very precarious situation that even if in her press release she mentions that she has no involvement there, but if she has prior knowledge of this situation and she is not being cooperative later on when the Miss Universe organization is doing an investigation on this, it puts her on a very difficult situation either way, which makes me feel that the optics of this scenario does not put her in the best light. This is not going to look good on her. And honestly, I feel for her because she is at the wrong place, at the wrong time, and probably with the wrong crowd. Because, of course, it's impossible that she will not be asked to let the Miss Universe organization know what she knows about this situation because she was there. The mere fact that she stood beside Donald Patrick Lim, and Donald Patrick Lim is being quiet nowadays. We're not seeing him or his organization come out with any press release with regards to this matter. You know that there are lawyers already involved. And ito yung nakakatakot. This is where it gets scary because I'm sure someone of his stature will make sure that his reputation is spotless, that it's clean. And I don't think that, I don't think that she will let this slide despite this pronouncement on social media. I tried to look at him in social media, but I don't find a particular account, whether it's personal or a business page that is tied up to him. So perhaps in the next several days, I might be able to find one that is linked with him. Okay? I know that there's a lot of comments na that's coming in. I will check them out a little bit. Kapag matapos ko lang, let me just finish my spiel on this. Okay? So as I was saying, if in case that the entities who are involved in the peddling of the MU coin idea to Donald Lim is still present and still here in the Philippines, he can countersue for fraud, for possible financial damages and emotional damages. Because this puts him as well on a bad light. So he can not only ask for that, but there is also possible, emotional damages involved in this. So you already have Donald Lim, you already have the Miss Universe organization who is looking into this process. Both these two can sue whoever peddled the idea, because these two entities would not want that they are going to be placed in a very precarious na position. Okay? So, that's my read on that. I may be wrong. Okay? I'm just adding a disclaimer here. I may be wrong on on my interpretation of things, because we still have a lot of unknown factors, unknown parts of this like mess. But I am sure that in the next several days, several weeks, more information might come out, and this might end up to be something that is going to be a larger piece of conversation later on. But for now, does this mean that do I feel that Michelle's chances is diminished because of this? Definitely yes, because now she's going to worry. She's going to think that this is a mess that she needs to get herself out of. And no matter whether it's the Philippines or the group of Donald Lim who gets involved in lawsuits and be placed in a bad light, the mere fact that she represents an organization that is tied to the Miss Universe organization, and involved ang Miss Universe coin in that situation, and as well as if she is placed in a precarious situation where the Miss Universe would ask what does she know, what is her involvement, what are the things that she is aware of with regards to the Miss Universe coin, because again, the video of her sitting beside Donald Lim would put her in a position where the Miss Universe organization can ask her for what went on. Because in that same Philippine Blockchain Week press conference, Donald Lim was already talking about the Miss Universe coin. So, and with Michelle in the panel, it's hard to miss that situation that she is completely out of the dark with what is happening. So the mental state of whoever is involved here in this situation, especially if you're a candidate, it would put you in it would put your mental health, in a strain, because this is not something that you want close to the Miss Universe pageant later on, where instead of your mind focusing on the competition, your mind is now playing tricks on you that you might be deducted points, you might not make it into the semis because of the terrible optics of this whole situation. Okay, now that's my take. Now I want to read your comments and thoughts on this issue. Okay, so where did we end up? I think we ended up with, okay, the last unread na comment here is from Darwin Cruz. Sabi niya, nagtataka lang ako where did he get the info na merong MU coin. I have no idea as well. However, they will, if they're going to make their investigations on this later on and find that certain people are involved, I'm sure may lawsuits involved then later on. And if this lawsuit is filed in the US and i-enforce ng Miss Universe organization that is based in New York, that the person who is involved here be extradited to the US. Remember, the Philippines and the US has an extradition na agreement. So hindi siya magandang optics as of the moment. Art Laurent is here. Hello, Art. Hola, friend, sabi niya. Kumusta? I hope you're enjoying our live stream. kahit na medyo mabigat yung yung discussion natin at this point. Okay, now JB is here and says, dahil sa issue about sa coin na yan, isang malaking good luck na lang sa MUPH, especially kay Sup at KJ. Kung ako naman sa kanila, mag-focus na lang sila kay Michelle kaysa umattend sa ganyang event. The thing is, it's actually Michelle who is present in the events. So I don't know how this is going to pan out. So we need to be all eyes on ears on this situation. Okay. Darwin Cruz is here. Sabi niya, Filipino ba mismo yung nag-introduce ng MU coin, yung nag-talk about it because of the issue our country is putting in a bad light. Ayan na nga, pinagpesahan agad ng mga taga-baba. But then again, okay, this is going to be controversial na point of view. Pinagpestahan din naman kasi natin yung issue nila sa baba. It's their turn na right now. Bilog ang mundo, bilog ang bola. Sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down. Now, the thing is, the difference here is we do not know yet who is the culprit. If in case na it's not the one who launched the the MU coin ang may sala, because it can be possible that he was duped. Donald Lim was probably duped to think that he can create MU coin with no implications on copyright, because there's a possibility that how to say this, it's impossible that he does not know copyright laws, and if that's the case, that someone convinced him that there's an opportunity here, perhaps that person who is knowledgeable has ties in with the Miss Universe organization, because when Donald Lim was presenting the idea for the MU coin, he was saying the right things, because if you look at our Miss Universe pageants for the last 2-3 years, there is an online vote. And the online vote can be paid through Lazada on our end, can be paid through PayPal. So having a cryptocurrency or having an MU coin where you can actually pay and vote for our own candidate makes sense. So this is where it gets complicated. It's impossible that he does not know international copyright laws. So we have to find and you have to dig deeper within this issue to find more truth about the matter. Okay, Balta Costa is here. Sabi niya, good evening, Sir Jason. And mga scripters, finally, I'm all ears on your thoughts and opinions. Thank you, Bob. Omorphia is here. Hello, Sir Jess. Thank you for this topic. We need pure enlightenment about that coin issue and of the whole shebang. Omorphia, I think this is a developing issue, and we will learn more about it when there's more investigation that will lead on to enlightenment. Because at this point in time, what I can offer are possible scenarios. I am not saying that this is what happened. This is 100% infallible, but I can offer interpretations of what I see from my perspective. And currently, I think that the one who launched the MU coin has probably thought that this is a good business idea. The problem there is, I am not sure where did this business idea came from, and how come that Miss Universe Philippines Michelle Dee is there on 2 separate occasions that is tied into the blockchain, Philippine Blockchain Week, that is tied into the controversy right now. So there are a lot of unknown areas and pieces of the information that we still need to learn and to dig out with regards to this issue before we get the whole complete picture. John Snow 79, hi Jason. Isang maulan at mausok na gabi sa lahat. ng nasa NCR at Calabarzon. Hope everybody is safe, dry, may kuryente at internet at may tubig. Jon Snow, we just got a water interruption for like 10 minutes or 5 minutes earlier. So I am sure na hindi lang kuryente at internet ang problema ng ibang tao ngayon. And again, I do hope that everyone stay safe because from what I've been hearing, yung smog na lumalabas ngayon is very unhealthy. And this is also the reason why na tingin ko for this day medyo makati na ang lalamunan ko because of possibly minuscule particles that is included in the fog na sumasama sa ulan, sumasama sa hangin. So I do recommend for everyone to wear a mask. I am just waiting for more information if we should also be wearing masks indoors, dependent on the situation. Okay, so but thank you though, Jon Snow, for hoping that everyone is okay. Okay, now let me just continue with his comment. Sabi niya, ewan ko lang ha, don't want to be a devil's advocate, pero parang calculated ang sunod na scuffle ng Miss Universe. From Miss Universe Indonesia harassment, na complaint, to rule changes sa franchise acquisition, aka bidding war, papalit-palit na pronouncements sa host countries for this year and next editions, to no more age limit, now this crypto eme. Mapapa-emeged ka na lang. Seems like the new owner is using Uncle's playbook of witchcraft and sorcery. Nakakapagtaka ang katahimikan ni Uncle and Camp considering na ang lapit na ng finals ng papiging nila. Parang nanonood lang ng popcorn sa Uncle, Akemi at Lorraine ng Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon. Okay, and Javi P says, totoo ba na di pa sure ang French fries na mapupunta kina Jutangerang Gorilla next year? I cannot say my piece on that, but abangan ang susunod na kabanata. I am sure that there's a lot of information that will be coming out in the next several months with regards to that. Okay, okay, Ping. Ang comment ni Ping medyo nakakaloka. Sabi niya, gusto kong makita ang galing ni Shamsi sa issue na to. Paano nila ipapaliwanag ito sa mga tao? I'm also waiting for them to craft their own to craft their own press release, because I don't think that the press release that they reposted without caption, without additional information on their page is something that is satisfactory. And I am betting that maybe in the next several days or even weeks, saka sila maglalabas ng kanilang ng kanilang side of the coin of the proverbial MU coin na issue. Okay, but I do hope that they can explain what's going on, because if they have a hand on this, this is something that if I were an owner of a pageant as big as Miss Universe, this is a deal breaker for me, and this is something that I will definitely sue you for copyright infringement, especially because I'm not sure if you are aware of certain individuals back in the 2010s that were trying to sell the Binibining Pilipinas America or Binibining Pilipinas USA in the US I think it was early 2010s, and that was very stupid. That idea was very stupid, knowing that the Binibining Pilipinas pageant and the Binibining Pilipinas name is covered by copyright laws. And it just so happened that, hindi na naulit yung pageant na yun because of the issue on the ownership and copyright of that law, of that name. You cannot just because you are in a different country, you cannot usurp someone else's intellectual property rights, okay, or intellectual properties because you think that certain laws is not applicable internationally. Okay, we have international laws of copyrights, and I think that if you are an amateur organization or you are a organization who has very little knowledge on international copyrights, you need to get yourself abreast to that, because ownership cannot be transferred just by, I know someone from the organization, so I can peddle you this the Binibining Pilipinas USA or the Binibining Pilipinas American name because I know someone that will give approval later on. You need to have everything in writing and in black and white, because this is something that you can go to jail for. Okay? So there. Nasa na ba tayo? Okay, ang dami na ng comments. Sabi ni Darwin Cruz, the question is, who approached him? I would assume Donald Lim. And sabi niya, kaloka. Darwin, I am not sure. We need to get into the bottom of this, because I myself am very interested, because whoever is the one who peddled the idea to him, pwede siyang makasuhan both ng Miss Universe organization at ni Donald because of the massive headache that is happening now because of it. Okay? Yuri M, sabi niya, still don't understand. Yuri, mahirapan akong i-explain all over. Team replay ka na lang mamaya, okay? You can replay the live stream episode later, and later on YouTube will do auto captions if you're not Filipino, and it will explain to you the entire the entire situation, okay? And don't worry, because some of these portions I discussed in English. Okay, Rods Abilido, good evening Sir Jason, happy weekend. Hindi happy yung weekend dahil una, we have the smog, pangalawa, we have this issue, and pangatlo, there's supposed to be a different topic that I want to discuss, a long-awaited topic on male pageants, but because of this last-minute development, I had to push that back to give way to this. But I desperately want to have that discussion later, so I will be announcing whether or not we're going to have the discussion somewhere in the middle of the week or towards the weekend again, as we usually do. Okay? Darwin Cruz says, involve or not associated na yung name ni Michelle because she's there. I hope matapos na yung investigation. This is going to be, let's give it maybe a week for them to do a initial sweep of the investigations before we get any updates on that. I am sure na this is going to be something that will be what do you call this? This is something that will be interesting to see how it ends up because of how big this issue is going to be. Okay? John Snow 79, everything is what if. Let's not jump the gun. Pwede rin naman na alam na rin ni Halo ang pakoy na yan. Pwedeng na-imbier na ang lola. Halo nyo kasi naunahan siya magsabi sa mundo na idea niya yon. But the thing is, I don't think that even if she has knowledge, but I don't think that she will react this way if she has involvement or she is part owner of this business venture, because ultimately, alam naman natin that JK and Global has financial issues nowadays, have financial financial problems of being able to pay yung kanilang mga debtors. So, I understand that all the more that the Miss Universe organization or JKN herself would be very protective of their assets, especially assets that can be converted into money later on. So it makes sense that she is being very guarded, or she is being very protective of her legal properties, whether it's physical or intellectual properties, because she would eventually want to have businesses aligned on the Miss Universe brand name, perhaps, and make it profitable for her company. So, yung issue kasi ng copyright, ano yan eh, it's an issue that it's essentially, my interpretation of this issue of copyrights is theft. This is essentially theft of a different kind. Instead na yung what do you call this, yung company ni JKN is the one who is profiting from their own, their own properties, legal owned na mga properties. There are other entities who is making money out of it. And I think this is also, a reflection of, are you willing to do shady business? And what do you call this? Are you willing to have shady business practices while you are attached to certain companies or certain business entities, and put those entities at risk? Yun yung mahirap doon. So I do hope that whatever the situation, Jon Snow, it will be resolved, dahil it will not look good on any, what do you call this, on any party. Because right now, if I am going to take a look back doon sa pinagpepiestahan na tayo ng mga taga-baba, while we are accusing them of, being sexual predators, they can also accuse us of being thieves. So, hindi maganda on both parties yung mudslinging. Okay? The image is not looking good for any of us. Sabi ni Yuri, this has been blown out of proportion. I don't think so. I think this is going to be even bigger. June says MUPH should prepare an alternative candidate. No, I don't think so. It would be unfair for Michelle. I think that is too much. I think there needs to be a swift investigation on this. Have the investigation absolve the innocent parties, and then and punish the guilty ones. Wayne Bacale says MUPH needs to strengthen its due diligence and management of our candidates' involvement and engagement. I kind of agree. Ingat-ingat. Hindi yung basta bira na lang bira on, what do you call this? On different na mga, different na mga issues. Or different, hindi lang, or, wrong analogy. Hindi pwedeng bira ng bira sa lahat ng mga public appearances na available. Especially if this is something na medyo hindi maganda ang kahihinatnan, or hindi maganda ang magiging optics later on. Omorphia says, I hope ma-update mo kami sa developing story nito. I will make sure to be very on top of this na issue. Hindi ko to bibitawan na issue, because I think this is something that everybody is invested on, especially na Pilipinas yung yung nakakabet dito sa issue na to, because it's not only about MUPH or the MU coin or Donald Lim, but this is a larger na community involved on the blockchain na area, because the government is involved in the Philippine Blockchain Week. And hindi ito tawag ito. This is not just a basta-bastang event because even the First Lady is involved during the Michael Cinco event that is tied in with the Philippine Blockchain na week. So you know that big names are involved in this blockchain event, and this is not something that I think was well planned in terms of yung launch ng NU coin, because if there are entities na who thinks that they are on the legal na side, only to find out that they were peddled, they were duped into a scenario like this, I am sure lawsuits will fly everywhere. Okay? Sabi ni Yuri, MMD was the first MMD was at that event because of her advocacy. It's an NFT-based company aiming to help those on the spectrum. I'm sure they are all aware of copyright laws. I think everyone needs to calm down. But then again, it's Miss Universe who is not calming down, because they issued what they issued in terms of, their, what do you call this? Their tawag nito, their press release. If you read yung press release na binanggit nila, it seems that they are invested on investigating this. So hindi siya basta-bastang issue, because copyrights, especially if copyrights involve millions in terms of the worth of the copyrighted na material, malaking danyos yan kapag nagkaroon na ng mga lawsuits. Because if the Miss Universe organization can prove that they are at the position to lose multi-million dollars because of the Miss Universe coin, then you very well be prepared that when you go to court, meron kang arsenal, because if they can prove that what do you call this, that they will lose millions in revenue because of the existence of the MU coin, they can take you out to the cleaners. They can essentially, bankrupt your company, and that will leave you, in the cleaners at the dumpster. That will leave you having to sell your assets, sell your what do you call this? Your houses, your cars, just so that you are able to pay what you owe the Miss Universe organization. Okay? Because here's the thing, doon sa communication ng Miss Universe, they put it, very very explicitly there, and I read, will be pursuing all legal options with regards to this infringement. The mere fact that they say all legal options, it means that this is a serious serious issue for them. Because if you remember, back when Donald Trump was the owner of the Miss Universe organization, he sued the Miss World USA organization because of the words Miss USA in their title. So don't mess with the Americans when it comes to lawsuits, because they eat and breathe lawsuits, and it's not, Yuri, unfortunately, Yuri, it's not a small it's not a small issue, because this is involving huge money. Okay, Okay, roaming Avgeek says, mukhang force for damage control crown ang need nila ngayon and not force for good. Hehehehe. Hello, Sir J. Ako, roaming Avgeek. Medyo medyo hindi ko alam kung ano yung magiging kalalabasan nito. But if by any chance that entities in the Miss Universe Philippines organizations are involved, this could possibly end up with loss of franchise, lawsuits, and etc. Okay? Kape-kape, sabi niya, wala bang legal consultant ang organic? Ang alam ko meron. Jon Snow, part ng opening monologue ni Rhaenyra Targaryen. The only thing that could tear down the House of the Dragon was itself. Frenny Happy or Franchilla says there are lawyers who takes care of that problem. I agree. Nasa na ba tayo? Okay, so ayaw. Okay, nawala yung ating chat. Let me double check what happened. Okay, so let's go muna doon sa mga votes because right now leading is yung definitely will. Whoa. Okay, so when I ask, will the Miss Universe coin controversy affect Michelle's chances as Miss Universe 2023? 40% of you says yes, it definitely will. Those who says that hoping that it won't is around 38%, and only 20% says that 20% says that no, it won't. So only 20% yung optimistic na hindi siya magiging issue. Ayan. Now, before lumala yung usapan natin, lumayo further yung ating usapan on this topic, I just wanted to say that having worked at an international organization with someone who is involved with discussions on franchises, on legal matters, on documents, agreements, and all. When you own a franchise, you don't necessarily become wishy-washy with the brand or the property that you own. Okay, whether it's a brand name, whether it's actual physical goods, you are very careful. You need to be very involved in everything that you discuss with your potential na mga franchise and licensee partners. So if you are a franchisor and you have a franchise na tawag ito na ibinebenta mo sa mga tao, you are very careful that the one who has the local franchise in the US, the tawag ito in Canada, in the Philippines, in Thailand, in India, in any other countries, you would want to protect your brand, and you would want to make sure, and you will be making steps to ensure that your brand and your name is protected. That is why bawat kontrata, every contract has fine prints where you would put in there everything that you don't want to happen, everything that you want to happen, everything that are the parameters for the franchisee to protect your brand. This is no different from what the Miss Universe is doing, because they are only protecting not only the Miss Universe Philippines brand but also the Miss Universe brand. They don't want the brand to be a free-for-all in terms of use. That is why there are brand names, there are logos that you just cannot say that you own them. if you don't have the legal papers. This is no different from that. The only difference this time is that you are now talking about a product that that is going to be out there, na hindi mo alam kung saan nanggaling. Hindi mo alam kung kinausap ka ba about this? Did these people who are launching the Miss Universe coin, do they have negotiations with the Miss Universe brand? Was there any talks with them? Because it's not the Miss Universe name is not the property of Donald Patrick Lim. It's actually Kun An's and the Miss Universe organizations. So there should have been a discussion between Donald Patrick Lim and the organization. But if a franchisee approached them that we can do this for you in your behalf, ibang usapan na yon. Or if someone who has ties into the organization, not necessarily within the Miss Universe Philippines organization, it can be somebody else na who has ties with the MUO office, who made the what do you call this? Who made the bold step na sabihin na I can middleman your way into this, then we have to know who that person is. Dahil siya yung liable sa lawsuit from both parties. So, I know that, we all want, to make this as minimal damage to us as possible. We don't want, the damage on Michelle's chances to become huge. But the thing is, that is essentially out of our hands. Just imagine if we are going to minimize this, and we're not going to talk about this, then that is, how to say this without hurting anyone's feelings. Okay, if we don't discuss this out of the open, and we don't condone the people who are guilty, and hopefully we find the truth in all of this mess, then we are just perpetrating, the notion na okay lang yan, hindi malaking issue yan dahil hindi naman tayo damay. The problem with that mentality, if it becomes into a worst scenario, like with the sexual harassment na issue in Miss Universe Indonesia, if we don't speak out, we become one with the perpetrators. And I don't think that Filipinos or Filipino pageant fans would want to be, the kind of people who will be silent when there's something wrong going on. Okay? And this is the reason also of why we need to discuss this out of the open, because we need to learn more about what is going on. I need to know what are your perspectives, what are your expertise on the legalities of what's going on, because that is the only time and way that we can actually enrich each other and enrich our knowledge of the situation. Hindi ito about finding sino ang mali, sino ang dapat sisihin, but rather we have to know the truth so that the right people will get punished if they are guilty, and the right people are absolved if they are innocent. Dun yung perspective natin, we have to know, because we don't want that we are throwing accusations or we are throwing uninformed comments all over the internet, on social media, not knowing what the actual issue is all about. Kasi somebody was commenting to me that there are some people throwing on social media that, the blame on the organization, the blame on some people, on other people, without actually knowing the actual issue is all about. They don't even know what is cryptocurrency when somebody was talking about them when it comes to the technicalities. So yun yung mahirap that you throw out all of these opinions that are uninformed and uneducated. So yun yung mahirap, and that is the one thing that we try to avoid. And this is also the reason why inulit ko earlier that this is my read on things. This is just one perspective out of a million perspectives. So unless we have a fact-finding body who has already did their investigations and did their research, and they published yung ano ba talaga ang nangyari, that's the only time that we are able to understand the full extent of the issue. Okay, but for us not to say that this has this is no bearing at all, we are not in the position to tell that. Only Miss Universe, the Miss Universe organization can say if this is minimal or not a big issue. But the mere fact that they took time to write a statement and that they are pursuing all legal process to prosecute the people involved in this what they call a scam, then you know that they're taking this seriously. Okay. Ano muna tayo, let me just break and scroll yung nasaan na tayo nag-end sa comments. Okay, I think we ended up with was it? No, it's not. Nasaan na ba tayo? With Ping. I think with Ping. Sabi niya, pwede bang matanggalan ng franchise rights ang MUPH ng MUO? If there are, okay, Ping, that question, I think if not just in this issue, but in general, any franchise partners pwedeng matanggalan ng issue matanggalan ng in-issue na franchise agreement if they made violations in that agreement, no matter how big or small it is. I think the Miss Universe has the right to remove the franchise from any franchise franchise partners, as long as they qualify doon sa violations that on the contracts. Okay? Sabi ni Lemuel 23.5, sana naman wag matulad sa MUID ang MUPH na biglang ma-termination of license sa IG post ng Miss Universe. Sir, sabi niya, additional na comment, Sir Jason, tignan na lang natin ang optimism. Let's just look at a similar situation with Arbuni, where our organization was investigated, Arbuni was scrutinized, yet she persisted in the semis. Similar situation with MMD could happen to her. Like Arbuni, she wasn't involved whatsoever with the issue, and that's why she entered the semis. Okay, I want to be all sunshiny and roses, but for me, there is a nagging gut feel that tells me that this is not the end of this issue, because I was informed by certain national director earlier that there is a documentary that is coming out that is called Fixing a Pageant Results or something like that, and it's centered with the Miss Universe organization. Okay, and oh my God, hindi ko babanggitin kung sino, but this national director messaged me about the, what do you call this, the documentary, and it is a documentary, it is FX documentary titled How to Fix a Pageant, and nakalagay na dun yung kung kailan siya i-release. Okay, so I will just be posting the link on the chat box. Bahala na kayo kung if you're going to read that, if you are going to jump into it. Okay, so and this is another issue that's coming up, and I am sure you are going to sink your teeth into this documentary later on. So there. It's up to you. I hindi ko wala pa ako sa mood na i-digest itong information na to. I will watch it when it comes out because this is very interesting to me. Okay? I think nandito tayo sa comment ni Pageant Fan NYC. Lalong aabangan si MMD sa El Salvador. Hopefully, it won't affect her chances. There are judges who will be unbiased and it really boils down to her performance. I do agree. I think that is where we need to divert yung ating energies when it comes to Michelle, to hope on a good performance. I think that is the only yan na lang yung mapaghahawakan natin, that when it comes to the Miss Universe pageant later on, yung performance niya yung magsasalba sa kanya, because this issue hindi siya nakakadagdag, hindi siya nakakatulong ng kahit ano on Miss Universe, the Miss Universe journey of Michelle. So I am hoping that we rely on her technical ability to perform later on her interviews, in closed-door interviews in Miss Universe, to propel her into the semis, because I believe that the judges will be very fair when it comes to judging the girls who makes it into the Miss Universe pageant. Okay, I think it's a much better approach, rather than to deny or to think that this is not going to be this will not affect her chances, but rather divert our energies in hoping that her performances in the preliminaries will be enough to propel her into the competition. Okay? I think yun yung pwede nating panghawakan eh. I think that is the, what do you call this? The ace card that we can hold on to in terms of this situation. Dito sa sitwasyon na to, wala tayong magagawa. It is what it is, and that is that is something that we don't have control on. What we do have control on is our hopes pinning on Michelle's performances. So, doon tayo aasa. Doon tayo, that's where we pin our hopes for Michelle. Okay? Where are we? Roaming AVG says, na-curious tuloy ako about branding. May bayad po ba yung pagpapa-copyright, pagpapa-copyright own ng branding, slogan, etc. Sa atin is sa DTI nire-register or sa SEC. Sa SEC. Hope you can enlighten us on this. I think it's on the SEC as part of your brand properties and assets. However, I think we have intellectual copyrights ng mga offices where pwede natin ipasa yung mga trademarks, logos, and brand assets natin. So, dito sa Pilipinas, hindi mo basta-basta pwedeng angkinin yung Nike swoosh because somebody already owns that na asset. So, we just need to be very careful on that. Kasi lahat ng mga ito, if it's registered, the person or the organization who owns this, they're the ones who have intellectual property on it. So kung ginamit mo siya for your for any any use that you can earn profits from, pwede kang makasuhan. Okay? And I think ito din kasi yung isa sa mga magiging discussions natin later on, because I think I posted earlier this week that the Philippine-based organization, nag-post sila before that they own the Mr. International copyrights doon sa logo, the M and I with the man in between. They own that logo, as well as the tagline, distinctly handsome. And this is also the reason why the Thai-based organization cannot make use of that logo, because they don't have ownership of it. They cannot even use the distinctly handsome na tagline because they don't have the legal rights on that as well. Based on the based on the documents that Attorney Manuel Del Dio showed us and posted on his personal social media accounts. So only when you use those copyrighted items and you make profit from it, pwede kang kasuhan. Pero if you use it for anything with regards to spreading information, scholarly discussion, I think there is a fair use treatment na areas that you can actually rely on dahil you're not making profits out of them. So yun. Jam Amihan, sabi niya, good thing po ba na may magre-resign sa isa sa mga head ng MUPH for the delikadesa po ng org. Tignan natin sa mga susunod ng araw if there will be someone who... But I think kasi if someone resigns, here in the Philippines, people will think of it as an admission of guilt. So, let's see. Travel Junkie, love documentaries and love pageants. Thank you. So, panoorin mo yung ipinost kong news on an upcoming documentary titled How to Fix a Pageant. Tapos, sabi ni H. John, nice discussion. Thank you. I do hope that, this kinds of discussion will be something that you are comfortable with, even if it puts the Philippines at a bad light. Because these are things that we can definitely learn from. When we are comfortable with difficult conversations, that is when we grow as individuals, as a community, because we're not just feeding yung ating visuals, but also we are feeding yung ating intellect. And I think, I think we really need to be normalizing difficult conversations, because that is where we find that some opinions, other people's opinions, can enrich our understanding and our appreciation of certain topics and certain issues. Okay? JLC says, hello Mr. JC, napaka-neat ng mga gamit nyo. Sorry to be off topic. Walang anuman. I try to make it neat because ang gulo-gulo ng mundo ng pageantry. So at least there is something that I can, I can control and organize. Ayan. So now, before we end our discussion, let me just read yung final na vote tally ng ating poll for this evening. So, for those who came in late, I posted the poll in the chat box, asking for your opinion if the Miss Universe coin controversy will affect Michelle's chances at Miss Universe. Now, there is now a tie between yes, it definitely will affect her chances, and there is a same percentage for that response, with the hoping that it won't affect her chances, both at 39%. So I think our optimism still is pretty much helping us to deal with this topic, as well as the reality, the realistic side natin dito sa issue na ito, because I think when we have these kinds of issues, it is much better that we are open for discussion, open for the possibilities of dialogue, dahil if we are enclosed doon sa pag-iisip natin, doon sa ating sariling mundo, sa ating sariling, sa ating sariling, how to say, sa ating sariling opinions, then we don't grow. We don't necessarily, how to say this, we don't necessarily improve. If we don't acknowledge, the difficult and the bad parts of pageantry, of our campaigns, our preparations, our, how to say this, our situation, pageant situation, hindi magi-improve yung situation natin, because you cannot expect to have the same results if you're just doing the same things over and over and over again. So I think that's the gist of what I want to discuss for this evening. Thank you very much for everyone na nagpaka-puyat dito sa ating discussion. It's already 9:31. And thank you very much as well, because if wala yung candidness ninyo, I don't think that magiging successful yung live stream natin ngayon. Thank you very much, for being thank you very much for being candid and open with this discussion with us, kasi I think everyone here would want only to see the positive in stuff, but having us discussing this difficult na conversation allows us to grow. Okay, thank you very much for everyone who has been here. Before we end our live stream, please do leave a thumbs up, a like on our live stream discussion. For those who are not yet subscribers in our channel, please do subscribe, hit the notification bell for more of this content, this typical pageant content. Okay, maraming salamat sa lahat ng mga sumubaybay, doon sa mga bagong dating lang. Pasensya na lang po, mag-team replay na lang po tayo this evening. Ayan, thank you very much. Hope to see you in our next live session soon, and sana hindi ganito kabigat yung nagiging topic natin, and it would be something that would help us na mapagaan ang loob. Okay, salamat sa lahat. See you next week, and take care everyone. Bye.